Hello, explorer. It's been so long since we last met. Did you diligently work on the modeling and animation? My new model has once again crossed the line of moho's rules. Moho magic realm caused me pain, made me question life, and made me want to give up. It is the pants paradox. Haha! It's not actually that exaggerated. The problem is that the hip-to-leg structure is easily exposed, making it difficult to. That's why I like skirt structure models. They're both beautiful and easy to make. Cough cough. But we can't just run away like this forever. As usual, Dubao helped with the character development. He and the previous female character. Let's get started with some fun node modeling. The plan is to use a separate layer for the eyes and a separate layer for the eyes. Use liquid graphics, while the mouth and face use I tried to avoid having colored nodes and liquid graphic. Use the inner shadow filter to create more detail. After coloring the node model, use the selection tool, holding down Shift plus Ctrl to sample the color from. Adjust the facial features according to the design my daughter drew. Using liquid graphics on hair allows for highly flexible outlines. And this allows the eyebrows and eyes to be visible beneath partially translucent hair. Add shadows around the eyes to emphasize the contrast. I only wanted to make the character's front 180-degree turn, and a separate back. The shaded areas are welded directly onto the body. The real challenge lies in the hips. How to integrate the legs into a single, although it can eliminate the gap between the leg and hip shapes. But the outlines of the legs will inevitably stick, unable to properly handle the front and back obstruction. So I divided the hip area in two, allowing each section to then fill in the shared hip contour with another color to cover the blending gaps. In this way, the gaps between the hips and legs are filled in, and each has its own liquid graphic shadow. Then add decorative lines to the pants. I still couldn't resist using colored nodes at the end of the shadow. This will obviously cause lag and delays in the project files, but its smooth transition effect is so irresistible that I can't give it up. I've found that I've been making complicated boots lately. This time I tried to keep the structure as simple as possible. Add just a tiny bit of decorative detail. The shadow of the boots is a pure liquid graphic. I've staked all my colored chips on the pants model, so I can't use them anymore. The glossy texture relies on 2 layers of inner shadow filters. The character's scarf shadow is also simply a liquid graphic, but I added 2 inner shadow filters to the base layer. The effect is a bit stiff, so I'll add a little blur to the shadows. Make the bottom hem of a scarf, then copy and paste it, making minor adjustments as needed. The back of the scarf is a bit too simplified, which may prevent it from moving freely, but we should save where we can, since we've already overspent on the pants. Okay, it looks alright, it has enough detail. With its darker colors and these details, the character's up because the arm is an independent structure. It is very simple to make. Just make sure that the elbow, where the upper arm and forearm meet, forms a concentric circle. This way, there will be virtually no visible flaws when performing the bent arm movement. I also chose to use an inner shadow filter for the shadows on my upper arms. The shadow shape can be calculated in real time based on the arm's movements. Then I imported a hand model with many hand shapes. Compare the character and change its color and size. I won't go into detail about how to make the free arm. Please refer to my previous video. adjust the forearm thickness according to the hand posture. This was, of course, incorporated into the intelligent skeletal system belonging to the hand. Oh, you'll notice I'm conflicted, because this boot incorporates 3 structures: the calf, the ankle, and the foot. It requires tilting the ankle and calf while turning the foot. Moreover, it has relatively realistic folds and therefore, the position of the calf bones and ankles needs to be carefully. It combines node binding and flexible binding. Don't forget there's still the other leg and the boot that haven't been made yet. The flexible binding of the two legs must not conflict. Thankfully, I won't be so foolish as to add a gradient color or anything like that to my boots. After the binding was complete, I first tested the most important aspect. The flaws seen from the front are still within acceptable limits. Of course, smart skeletons can only provide up to 60% of the animation. The remaining 40% requires manual keyframe creation. Moho is not 3D. It's not as simple as just creating a model and calling it a day. You need to manually keyframe to breathe life into the animation. Okay, I admit I was greedy. I want front and back calf movement exercises, plus left and right foot. However, the boot's front to back perspective, movement, and furthermore, it involved crossover. I had no choice but to compromise and let my lower leg extend and contract with the bones. Only retain the most important left and right foot rotations and ankle tilts. If you encounter a special angle, you can only manually add keyframes. After all, I wanted to squeeze every last bit of movement out of the node model. The liquid graphics were used to separate the limb outlines and shadows. Moho's node model still has great untapped potential. Perhaps if I think about it some more, or try a different approach, I can take it a step further. Next, we'll add poses with special angles for turning your feet left and right. The poses that rotate horizontally are smooth transitions, but these special angles are switched every frame. These specific poses can become disordered and collapse due to the flexible binding of the tilted ankle. Therefore, I also added 2 flexible bones as compensation. I copied the left leg as the right leg, and then I realized I had made 2 major mistakes. First, the graphic details of the 2 legs are now very numerous. When I adjust the occlusion relationships, it's difficult to accurately determine the order of these graphics. The addition of liquid graphics makes it even more difficult. Additionally, when the line brush is activated, only a red square is displayed. It doesn't become translucent, so most of the time I don't know if it's active. I can only guess or cancel the brush style. The second major mistake. Do you remember my smug hip structure? It is currently hidden beneath the surface pattern of the hip area and cannot be activated. Therefore, I am unable to adjust the animation that obscures the two legs. Below the obscured hip graphic is a series of tree-like graphics representing legs and boots. It's a bit like building blocks. Moving one affects the whole thing. I removed the topmost hip graphic and shadow. Okay, you win equals P. Activate and adjust the occlusion relationship of the leg graphics below. Then repaint the hip area. Then comes the pose with the hips turned. The shadow structure when the leg is raised is a bit odd, but within acceptable limit. Acceptable range refers to the amount of work required to manually correct keyframes. Okay, next up is the back view butt pose. Separate the vest into a separate layer. Increase lumbar twisting compensation skeleton. Then fix some strange skeletal relationship errors. I want a pose with my legs crossed or sitting on the ground. That would require the thighs and calves to cover the hips. This, of course, means adjusting the order of more graphics containing liquid graphics. Then there's this line brush display bug again. Okay, I'm giving up on brush materials. Simplicity is the best. I ultimately sacrificed some details of the pants to achieve the sitting pose. Then, as he wished, the character crossed his legs. Ankle tilt plus left and right foot rotation, plus twisting compensating bones. I'm so tired, I'll continue later. You've made it this far, that's amazing equals. I love you. Good night. See you next time.